Here's a strange thing to sit with tonight. Your death, the actual last moment of it, might not feel like a moment at all. It might feel long. It might feel like the longest thing that ever happened to you. We think of death as an instant, a switch. 1 second you're here, and then nothing, all at once. But the more we learn about what actually happens in those final seconds, the stranger and less instant it looks. Because from the inside, the end might not be a door slamming shut. It might be something that stretches. Let me walk you through it, slowly. The way it might actually happen. Start with the body. The heart stops. And here's the first thing most people get wrong. That is not the moment you switch off. Your brain doesn't need your heart. It needs the oxygen your heart was delivering. And for a short window after the blood stops moving, there's still oxygen left in there. So your neurons keep firing. Your thoughts, whatever they were, keep happening. For a little while in the dark and the silence, you are still you, still in there. And then something happens that no one expected. For a long time, we assume the dying brain simply fades, activity winding down, quieter and quieter, like a machine losing power. Gentle, gradual, nothing. That's not what we found. In studies of the dying brain, the most striking published in recent years, monitoring patients in their final moments, researchers watched for that quiet fade. Instead, in some of them, right around the moment the heart stopped, the brain did the opposite. It surged. A sudden, powerful burst of activity, and not just noise. Organized, structured waves, gamma waves, the specific kind of brain activity we associate with the most vivid states you ever experience. Intense concentration, memory, dreaming, the feeling of being intensely, powerfully aware. At the moment the body was ending, the brain lit up like it was doing something enormous, and we don't know what. Now hold on to that, because here's where it connects to the strangest part. Time. You already know from your own life that time is not fixed, it bends. Think of the last time something happened fast and dangerous. A car sliding on ice, a fall, a near miss. People describe the same thing again and again. It all went into slow motion. The half second stretched out. You had time to think whole thoughts inside an instant that should have been too short for any of them. That's not your imagination playing tricks after the fact. Something real is happening. When the brain is flooded and hyper alert, it records experience in extraordinary density, laying down memory so fast, so detailed, that the moment feels enormous from the inside, more packed, more stretched. Time subjectively slows down. The more intensely your brain is working, the longer a second can feel. So now, put the two things together. A brain in its final surge, the most intense burst of activity it may ever produce, and a mechanism that stretches time in exact proportion to how hard the brain is working. What does a second feel like to a mind operating at the most intense it has ever been? We don't know. But the possibility sitting there in the data is this, that the last second of your life, measured on a clock, might not feel like a second at all. That from the inside, it could stretch into something long, something vast, a final moment that, to the person living it, doesn't feel like an ending arriving quickly. It feels like time slowing down and down and down. And this is the part I have to be honest with you about, because it's the part that makes this genuinely haunting instead of just interesting. We cannot ask them. Everyone who has ever actually finished that final second, who went all the way to the end of it, is not here to tell us what it was like. That's not a gap we're going to close with a better study. It's the one experience in all of human life that no one can ever report back from. The people who come close, who are pulled back, They bring fragments, light, peace, a sense of time coming apart, but they were pulled back. They didn't reach the end of the second. They don't know what's on the far side of it either. So what we have is this. We can watch the brain light up. We can measure the surge. We can see the machinery of consciousness doing something huge at the very end. But we cannot get inside it. We can see the light under the door. We can't see the room. And you won't either. Not until you're the one in it. Here's the thought I can't shake, and I'll leave it with you. Every single person you have ever loved, everyone who came before you, everyone who ever lived, they all went through that door, billions of people, and every one of them, in their last second, may have experienced something immense. A stretched, slowed, vast final moment, and not one of them could turn around and describe it. The most universal experience there is, and the most completely private. It happens to everyone, and it's witnessed by no one. You will have that second too. One day, far away I hope, there will be a last second for you. And if any of this is right, it might not feel quick. It might be the longest second of your life. The longest thing you ever lived through. Stretching out, quietly, with no one able to follow you into it. We measure a life in years, but maybe the longest part of it is the very end, and you won't be able to tell anyone.